Give us a sense of where this race is right now. I mean, there are a lot of candidates in there. It's a tough thing. What's your chances of winning?
Thank you for having me, David, and hello, New York. I think the chances of winning are as great as they've ever been. I walk the streets in every borough. New Yorkers tell me they want a mayor who will challenge the status quo and put their interests first, David. They look at the lineup of those who are in this race and they say that there's a lot of failed policies, that they've had their chance and now it's time to move forward. And you can see that just in the condition that exists in New York City. And COVID exposed a lot of those conditions and exacerbated others. So New Yorkers want something different. And so I've gotten a lot of support out there, and I expect to continue to get a lot of support.
Ray, one of the things that I hear from business leaders is they want somebody who understands the business community because it is important to the success of the city. They haven't always had that, I think it's fair to say. That is one of your claims to fame, but does that really resonate with voters? I mean, are you trying to ride the horse in two different directions here?
Well, you're not trying. Well, there are two different directions in which the horse can go. To use that analogy, there's the right direction and there's the wrong direction. The wrong direction, David, is stop and frisk, which some have advocated. It is defund, which others are advocating, which at a moment in time when we're experiencing gun violence that's up almost 200% is clearly not the direction. We're also witnessing a lot of incompetency, those who are advertising they could do things and they can't. Ethics is clearly in the wrong direction, and the city is divided. That's the wrong direction. The horse can go in that direction, at which point many New Yorkers, especially those underserved and unserved, are going to be hurt the most vulnerable. It can go in the right direction, where we do have someone like me who is focused on safety, integrity, inclusive economic recovery, competency. And I will say the other thing that is so important is that how we do this is one New York. It was the case, as was advertised during this past administration, that we're a tale of two cities. David, right now, we're a tale of a fractured city. So unless we have someone in whom the city can believe, in whom they can trust, who's got a track record of pulling people together, that horse is going to go in the wrong direction, David, unfortunately.
Ray, I think one of the issues, and you tell me you've walked the boroughs, is that people all overwhelmingly agree we need to do something about crime. Crime has gotten out of control again. We had it under control much better than it was. How do you address the crime spree right now in the United States, the danger people feel? At the same time, you reform the police so they don't do things they shouldn't be doing.
So you have to do both, David. We just experienced in Far Rockaway, a 10-year-old. That has got to be one of the most painful experiences. I can't tell you how that amplifies. Clearly, it was referencing the crisis. Then we had a 9-year-old, then we had a 1-year-old. So we have to get the guns off the street, David. That's going to be the highest priority. We need to make that covenant between the leadership of New York and New Yorkers come together. That's covenant of safety. That's number one. Get the guns off the street, not the Giuliani era tactics of stop and frisk. And certainly at a moment in time when you see crime rising, defund the police. That is a disaster, as some have advocated for. So we need to get the guns off the street. We need to invest in the neighborhoods. My plan to address what you've talked about with respect to the police is to have an accountability system that goes the following way. And you can see it in my Ray for Mayor plan. One, I'm going to have a deputy mayor for public safety who is involved in the day-to-day management of the NYPD. Number two, chain of command accountability. One or more officers involved in an infraction, the entire chain of command gets held accountable. Or in number three, David, 4 to 5 of the 10 calls that go into 911 today have to do with mental health issues, mental illness. And we see many of the hate crimes that are being committed in the subways are those who are mentally ill. The last one, a slashing, the person had been, I think, arrested 17 times, mentally ill. We need to have a force, which is my emergency social services office, Bureau of Mental Health Care Professionals, to sit in the subways, sit within the precincts. Then I'm going to have a chain of command, or the CCRB, that has full investigative authority. Rather than 48 hours, rather than 48 days, they get 48 hours. They see the entire file, they make a recommendation based on the commissioner's response, then I may have to take further action. And then, David, I want to return to community policing. I want to invest in the communities. I want to invest in summer jobs. I want to invest in community centers. I want to make sure that our children have the option and get them vocational training so there are opportunities out there. But I got no rims or nets on the backboard, David. I got no community center. I got no summer job. I got no broadband. I got no tablet. And I live in a place that is, 6 other people in a small place. And my friend just got his new Jordans. What do? And so we need to address that, return to community and policing, invest in the cure of violence professionals who are in the neighborhoods who can prevent this. They have the pulse on the ground. We need a comprehensive way to deal with what is currently the challenges, the crisis, and then we need to make sure that we prevent it from happening, which is in my plan, David.
There's a lot of challenges for the next mayor of New York City. I think we all agree on that. Let's turn to the business of New York City, because you are, first and foremost, a businessman, a very successful banker for many years. What about running the city? I've seen you say the city is broke, broken, and divided. Take the broke part of it. How do we generate the money we need, the revenues we need, without increasing taxes, without driving people to move to Florida or someplace else?
First of all, we need the revenue. We need to grow our way out of this. We need to stop advertising for Florida, which is we've become the biggest ad agency for Florida. Let's stop that. My plan, David, is called the largest, the greatest, most inclusive economic comeback in the history of New York City. I say inclusive by design. It's to create 500,000 jobs. Go big, infrastructure. Go small businesses. Go forward, technology, investing in the future. Minority women-owned businesses in which we've not invested. So my plan is to create jobs, to focus on those small businesses that represent half of the workforce in this city so that we can support them, 50,000 jobs. As part of that, we'll subsidize half of their wages for a year. We'll help negotiate the retention of New York City sales tax receipts for a year, waive all fees for a year, have deputy mayor for small businesses to invest in the small businesses, to cut through the bureaucracy or the red tape commission. Also have a shot clock so we can cut through the bureaucracy. We need to invest in those small businesses and the businesses of the future, David, which is my plan.
You got to
big, go small, go forward. We have to have a comprehensive plan. I got no jobs, David. I got no city. I got no jobs. I got no dignity. Yeah. We need to invest in order for city's best days to be ahead of us and not behind us.
You got a lot of plans. You got to get elected in order to have those plans come to fruition. You've spent more than any of the other candidates. You've gotten a lot of support out of Wall Street as a practical matter. Are they getting a return on their investment? Because right now in the polls, you're lagging behind. How do you get there?
You know, you get there by doing what I'm doing, and that's talking to the people. The only poll that matters, there are two that are outstanding now. There's one that's called undecided, which continues to lead the poll. The other is what happens on June 12th and June 22nd. June 22nd is the day. And so my expectation is, given my interaction with the people, the name recognition I didn't have early on, which I now have, people are hearing the story. And if you know my journey, which they are now understanding my journey, then they understand my purpose. I am not a career politician. I didn't get termed out. I'm not looking for a promotion. I didn't serve in any administration, Phil or otherwise, and I certainly didn't run for any office and didn't get that done. This is not a consolation prize for me. This is what is in the best interest of New York City because I love this city. It's given me everything. And so my way forward is to focus on undecided so that when June 22nd comes along, that I am where we want to be and where I expect to be on behalf of all New Yorkers, David. It ain't about me. It's about we. And the other thing that you should know, David, ain't no cavalry coming. If we don't get it done with the right leadership, it ain't gonna get done. And I don't owe any political favors, zero, bupkis. This is all about New York City, which has given me everything personally and professionally.
So Ray, finally, I know you're a student of history. You know that Abraham Lincoln got the nomination for president by being the second choice of everybody else. We've got a different phenomenon in the mayoral race this time, which is ranked choice voting. Give us an insight into what you're saying to your people about how you're going to use that ranked choice voting to your benefit. You might not come out first in the first round. How do you pick up in the second, third, and fourth?
You know, I'm saying to New Yorkers, if you don't, I haven't been in this for that long relative to all the others who've been in there for most of their lives, who do have a track record. Look at their track record compared to mine and what I offer, the promise that I offer. I want them to rank me number one, but in the event that for some reason they decide that that is not where they are, rank me number two. I welcome number two and give me the opportunity to do what the others have not done, David. That is to move this city forward in an inclusive way. We're investing in the future so that New Yorkers get included and so that we grow the economy, so that the challenges that we have today, that we meet them directly and not get back to what was, but let's make sure we go forward to what is and that to which we're going to lead the country forward.